Good evening and happy Friday. Welcome to A World Awakening. My name is Erin Bush. Miss Andrea is currently up in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the UFO contact event that they do up there every year. So Roger went with her. They're having a great time, other than the fact that the frozen tundra, as she calls it, is quite cold. Roger is, I talked to him earlier today and he said it was 40 this morning, and he is very much Floridized. So he's a bit grumpy about the cold, but they're having a great time. And I'm honored to be back again. And I wanted to say again, thank you. I have been relatively floored by the outpouring of messages. I've received cards and gifts with the loss of Monkey. And it's been a brutal 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks today. And I was lucky enough to be able to take Peanut for Andrea and Roger while they're in Michigan. So I have a new supervisor in-house this week. And she's curled up on the little beanbag chair next to me. But when she wakes up, I'll pop her in here to say hello. Super excited about my guest tonight. This is my friend Victoria Mundae. We have a funny story. We last year were both live streaming or watching the live stream at the farmhouse last Halloween. And I don't even remember exactly how we got to talking in the chat. But at one point, Roger was in the basement. And he was really trying to connect with, the spirit down there to try and make amends. And somehow Victoria came up with the hashtag Team Roger. So that's been kind of a running joke amongst a lot of us for a really long time. For the year. COVID world seems like a long time, but through that year, we've, spent a lot of time just kind of chatting back and forth. But this is the first time we're actually going to be able to see each other in person on a screen instead of me watching her do her thing. She was the co-host of Down the Rabbit Hole. I think it's Down the Rabbit Hole. Sorry, my brain's a little bit fried today. Edge of the Rabbit Hole, I'm sorry, with Mike Ricksecker. And I used to love watching that show with them. So I'm really excited to have her on. She's very funny. And she's incredibly interesting. And we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things. We are in the throes of a pretty intense Mercury retrograde. And I think we have 6 other planets that are a mess. So energetically, I know we're all struggling quite a bit. We've all had a rough week. And so I'm really looking forward to tonight, just being able to let loose, talk about fun stuff. We're going to cover galactic family things. We have evidence from Victoria as well. And she's going to talk about her books and all the other fun things that she's into. And so without further ado, I would love to bring on my sweet friend, Victoria.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Already? It's only been like 4 minutes and 21 seconds, girls. It's going to be a long night.
I don't waste time. We're done. On.
Done. That's it. We don't need 2 hours. We're done.
It's so funny because I was like, we've been friends for like 2 years. And you're like, no, not even a year.
Well, but it's like COVID. Sometimes I will remember things and I can't remember if that was 6 days ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago. Time has been a vacuum since COVID, I think.
And it's worse now because I work from home. So it's like Vegas because there's no clocks. I don't own a TV. I'm like, my boss came online today and he goes, okay, well, I'm checking out for the weekend. I'm like, what day is this? Is it time to go?
I know.
Damn it.
What day is it? I'm like, I don't even know what planet I'm on some days, like I'm lucky to just, exist. It's like, okay, we're just going to go through this. And it's lovely to see your face in person.
You too. Oh my gosh.
After all this time.
I know. You're so funny. I love our chats.
I'm a hot mess. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And the thing with Roger is when he went down and they had some sort of green camera on him. And I screenshots like Team Roger on it. It was breaking my heart. I was crying because when that came on, I'm like, who the hell is going to watch this for 72 hours? Oh, me.
My parents who weren't into this stuff at all.
Yeah. Once they got hooked in.
Yeah.
I stayed 72 hours.
So did I. Dad's like, can we watch the after when they're done talking? Can we watch? I'm like, yes, we can. I was expecting to be able to get mom and dad hooked for an hour or so,
Well, that's what I thought, I just wanted to
totally
see
committed. Totally committed.
But Andrea was here. She was in San Antonio this weekend. I was going to tell you a story, but then, got kicked off because it was time to go. But it was like 97 million degrees. And if you'd ever seen the one and the only Willy Wonka. The other one didn't count.
Correct.
What's her name? Violet. She turns so purple. I was like that. And people are walking around like, do you need a chair? Do you need some water? I'm like, no, I'm Irish. I'm German. I'm fine. It's just hot. I'm okay. And so it was really hot. And I was sitting outside and they said, well, Andrea's up in the food area. And it was at this Southern Victorian Gone with the Wind-esque house up on top of a hill. I'm like, well, crap, I go. So I'm hiking up the hill. Toby's here.
Yay, Toby.
Toby's here.
Her face.
And I don't know where she was. So I just sat down and started talking with people and, because I had nothing else to do. And this man goes, well, Andrea's in there. I'm like, oh, so I go in there to meet her. And there was this long line. It's like waiting for Santa.
Yeah. It's so true.
And I'm like, well, I'll sit back here. I'm red in the face. Maybe by the time I get up to Santa Perrin, I'll be human colored. But I wasn't. So I got up there and she kept looking at me like,
are you okay?
Yeah, exactly. And so I get up to her and she walks around the corner like, lady, are you having a heart attack? And I'm like, hi. And so I told her who I am. I didn't get anything else out other than my name. And she's like, and she comes running around the corner. So I guess I'm thankful that she didn't recognize me. Yeah.
That woman has a Rolodex, like the amount of names, because I'm much more of a face person. I'm terrible with names. She will remember names. I'll pull names out of the air sometimes. And she's like, oh, yeah, I met them, 15 years ago. And I'm like, how do you remember this stuff?
Yeah.
She remembers everything.
Yeah. And so I have all her books and they're all signed. I just really wanted to say hi to her. And so I'm going to a Skywatch party 2 weeks.
Nice.
And so I wanted to ask her, how do you call in the galactic family? And, she's such a fine, refined, charismatic person, right? She's always graceful and I just love her to death.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to a Skywatch party and my friends are bringing their apps and her eyes got real big. I know what you're going to say.
Right.
I've already said that. So I was asking her, how do you call in the galactic family? And she's like, they're already here. You talk to them all the time. So do you think, because I hear voices all the time and I've been told that it's when I did a past life regression and we're way off topic now. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
This is why they call it down the rabbit hole or whatever.
Edge of the rabbit hole. Swirling here,
Yeah.
But do you want to, what do you think? Because I have a feeling when we dive down that particular edge of the rabbit hole, we're going to be there a while. What do you think about us having Bill show? Because you have some really amazing photos that you've sent in as evidence.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and have Bill show those? Because I feel like once we dive down the UFO hole, we're going to be there all night.
That's fine.
That's good.
That's something I really don't know.
Aha. So here's your first one. Creepy as hell.
I did. Hold on. Wait, let me go this way. Okay. I did ghost tours in Old Town Spring, which is a little town just north of Houston. And that is the overflow seating that was next door to the saloon. And they built the overflow seating in the 80s and it caught on fire and it was gutted out. But the main saloon and brothel was fine. So one of the things we would do when we would go out there, we would for 10 extra bucks, we'd take you around the back to where the brothel is. And, you could do some EVPs and stuff like that. And so I kind of built up a rapport with the ghost of Charlie. That's who that is. And, it's Texas. You might have heard it's kind of hot here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. They've since torn it down. So if you go around the back, there's a staircase, and you wear as little clothes as possible when you're here,
as it's legal, right? Yeah.
So I had a tank top on and some shorts, and I went around the back, and I had an Ovilus going too, and so I bent over to put all my stuff down because my hands were all sweaty, and the Ovilus goes nice right when my top fell down. I was like, okay,
nice.
I'm not auditioning for you, so I'm not going to be one of your girls,
Right.
So that was actually on Halloween. It was just the weirdest day. It had rained all day long. And, you look forward to Halloween all year long. Yeah. And it was dank and damp and humid and all the celebrations have been canceled. And that town closes dark anyway.
Yeah.
So my friends and I were invoking spirits, if you will. And so we were.
The liquid kind.
Yes, those kind. And then we thought, well, what the hell? Let's go invoke some real spirits. So we went out to Old Town Spring. And so we were walking around and like, Charlie. And so we were all dressed up because I'm an ambassador for the Texas Renaissance Festival. So, we had all of our garb on and everything. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Corsets and, what they say in the Bible, my cup runneth over. So that kind of stuff, So we were there at the burnout part. We're like, Charlie, you want some girls? And so I was taking pictures, And so if you look at the picture, Bill, it looks like a man, but he's looking down like, who the hell is yelling at me?
Yeah.
And that's right where my friends were. He's looking directly at them.
That's it's so solid.
Yeah. And so even if you can zoom in, because I've had some other friends look at it, it pixelates different. The tree in the background is like a total different pixelation. And that's just solid, solid, solid. So the next day we went out to the cemetery is what we do. We go and clean it up and take flowers because there's so many old cemeteries around there. And, people are forgotten or their families passed on or moved on or whatever. So we always would go out and we would clean them up and put flowers down and talk to people, being intuitives, maybe we're actually communicating with them or maybe we're just having a good old time. Who knows? But again, I'm out there with my ovulus, and I'm walking around. I find his grave. And so I'm cleaning it up. I'm like, hey, Charlie, remember me? And it goes, finally.
Oh, no way.
Like, okay, so you do remember me. So
that's fantastic. That's that's a really crazy clear image of that man. And you can see the hat even.
Yeah.
Do you want us to do the next one?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that until I got home and I was calling it right. Now, a friend of mine took that. There are, the town is so freaky weird. It's so very haunted. And there is a very dark, evil presence and you can feel it. It's like, and you don't even want to go near there. That's the guy.
I don't like that picture. I saw it when you sent it and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Like a visceral, like, nope.
I was doing a midnight tour and it was like 6 football players, so they're all Texas tough, right? And their little cheerleader girlfriends. And I was trying to tell them that, often at this one particular building, I see a shadow step out and it's not good. And right when I was starting to say that, he steps out and they all run off, and they're leaving me here. Like, guys, wait for me.
Texas strong, asterisk, except when spirits appear.
Leave the woman, they'll get her. So
do you feel like that's completely human? Not, I don't mean like in a not demonic, but I don't know. It feels like a mix of something to me.
Yeah. From what I've been told, they think that is Tom, who is the original sheriff. And that town was so corrupt and there were so many murders and he's like, it's my town. You don't mess around. And so he was like, the law,
God, that's like something you see in like the movie poster for a horror film.
Yeah.
That shot. Like that's everything your nightmares are made of. You know what I mean? Like you see it far down the hallway and, as it moves in.
But you feel it before you see him. So my friend Karen took that and she sent it to me. I'm like, oh my God. I've seen that
one bit.
So many times.
Again, solid.
Yeah.
Creepy. And like proud standing. He's very, like you said, he's very.
I'm going to kick your ass if you don't move. That's the energy he puts off. So.
Yeah, I don't like him one bit. Not a fan of that one. All right, what's our next one?
Who knows?
We'll see what we got popping up here. Hopefully.
Is it the EVP?
No, I think he's going to do the EVP last.
Oh, okay. Is it a cat picture?
I know. I don't know if I saw the next one that's coming up. Hopefully. We'll see if he pops that up here in a minute. I think that's what's, I don't know. I was on Entity Voices a couple weeks ago and I don't have a lot of evidence. Oh, he only got 3 photos. He said, okay.
Okay. The next one, I was very proud of my digital recorder. I'm just going to say that. It has a Sony bidirectional. You can turn it so you can hear EVPs in real time. And I'm fairly tall and I had it in my hand and I was like, Kip's big boy, I'm holding it up in the air.
Yeah.
And we're on the, and I was basically auditioning a guy to see if he was going to join my group. And, so we were on the steps, the back porch of the hanging judge. And there's a tree where they say they hung people. And then there's a tree that I would never go near because, again, you could just feel it pulsating, darkness there and evil. Mm-hmm. And so I'm holding it up in the air. And this is a clip we got off the hanging judge. So he didn't make the cut because he was saying, take my energy, which we all know is wrong. You don't do that.
Right. So this is the EVP. Do you want him to go ahead and run that then?
Yeah.
Are you by the tree? Can you knock on something?
Are you hung in the tree?
I can hear the other people. Come touch this green light. Everybody has walked away from me. I don't fear you. You don't scare. As a matter of fact, I invite you. Come see me. Touch me. Anything. Stay away from the girls. Come on to me. Nah, I'm not. It just feels different now.
Wow. So is that a name? Is it because I'm hearing like Ricky or Vicky or Nikki or something. What am I hearing?
Let's hope it's not Vicky, because that is part of the area that I would go through doing the ghost tours, and I never use the familiar form of my name. I don't know you, Mr. Ghost. So I'm thinking he's saying Ricky.
Ricky. That's what I thought first.
And then the middle one, it's a very old Southern phrase, the law. You know, that's what they used to call the judges or the police, or like my grandmother would go, slow down, there's the law. You know, I'm like, okay, I won't be speeding. And then he says his name again, and it just keeps getting weaker and weaker. And there were so many undocumented lynchings and, you know, murders and things that were not justified. And you probably never could find it, but I've looked. I can't find any record of it, but it sounds like an old Southern man, you know.
It does.
And it's what's even, if you want to make it a little bit, take it to another level. I was showing it to or letting a friend listen to it, and we were back at the porch again, and she goes, let me show you this picture. And so she showed me a picture she took right about that same area, and there were two men who looked like sharecroppers in 1930s clothes, and you could see straight through them.
That's
like, oh, I wonder if that's Ricky.
Right? Well, I think that's what, you know, I have not done a lot of conscious photo taking, and I don't have a lot of investigative experience, right? But I live in St. Augustine, so we've always, I mean, we're kind of like Savannah, you know, we're basically built a city on our own dead. But I'm starting to find that I need to start paying attention, because as a sensitive, you know this, you're a sensitive. I'm so much more in tune with this that I forget about the you know, like I need to be consciously taking like bursts and being more aware of what I'm taking. Yeah. Because I do sometimes accidentally grab stuff and I don't realize that I'm doing it. And so I love seeing pictures like you have, because you can tell that you're a person who's really like, you've got them clear. They're solid. Like you know what you're looking for. Do you find that like, I know in the first one for Charlie, you were just like taking pictures randomly, but do you ever find in a place, because you've done a lot of investigating and you're brave because you'll do stuff by yourself, like in hotels and stuff, like the only breathing human there. But do you find, like, if you're at a location and maybe it's super quiet. And then all of a sudden you just get that overwhelming feeling. Do you is that how you're getting a lot of this stuff, is because you're picking it up first before you're actually capturing it?
Most of the time I forget to take pictures.
Yeah.
It's like I was looking for my my headphones before we started. I'm like, oh, it's with my ghost stuff. Well, where's my ghost stuff? It's like, well, I'm my ghost stuff. I don't know.
Right.
But I was at the Old Park Hotel. I think it was COVID. I don't know. Last year, the year before, whatever. And we were dressing up. Again, it's a brothel. Brothels are my favorite places to hang out.
I get it.
You know, it's a lot of fun going on there. And I had a corset on, and I was dressed up like, Western, 1870s Western or whatever. And I came out of my room, and I'm very uber sensitive about noise. So I turn the doorknob and close it. I don't slam the door or anything. So I was closing the door quietly, and I could just feel this like right up on my back. And I was like, oh my God, there is somebody standing behind me. So I had my phone, and I just started taking pictures, and I turned around real quick, and I'll have to send it to you. It's really great. There's this blurry picture of a man with a goatee and a cowboy hat. And he was like right on my back, like, hey boobs, how you doing?
Wow.
So I went back a few months later for another event at that same place. And I was walking along downstairs. I'm like, oh, that's the man. That's the man that was in the picture. So I, carefully, it's very well lit. I take my little phone, I take a picture of it. And when I come back home, the picture's blurry.
Oh no.
It's like, why won't he let me take his picture?
Clearly.
Yeah.
So you wear so many hats, right? You're an investigator, you're a sensitive, you're an author several times over. You do podcast hosting, you're into all of the Ren Fair stuff, which I wish we had one down here.
Come on down.
I know I need to come to Texas. But
yeah, it starts like in 2 weeks.
I have to ask the question, that everybody asks on every interview of paranormal people in the history of ever, of how you got into it. Like, did you experience things as a child? Did it happen to you growing up? Like, if you kind of I know a lot of people know who you are, but for those who may be new to us, if you want to give us kind of the rundown on how the hell you ended up sitting in this chair.
Amazon. No.
It was Google.
It's a massage chair. I really love it. Yeah, I have back problems. No, I don't know, to be honest. My mom's side is very intuitive. Well, they're all gone. They were very intuitive. They're East Texas, good old Baptist women who would know somebody was going to die before they would die, or they knew somebody was sick, so they're mixing up herbs, and they're going to take it up the road, and so-and-so's pig. Did you see him?
I saw him. Get it, Toby?
Toby's licking now. Don't look. He had surgery. He's been very sick. Anyway, yeah, so my mom's side was really intuitive, and my dad's side, and a lot of people say this is derogatory, but I don't mean it in any sort of derogatory way. They are Romanian gypsies. Okay. And so it's like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Some of my friends were like, oh, you're a paranormal perfect storm.
But it's true.
And it's just something I grew up with. And the first time I was talking to Andrea, she was on Edge of the Rabbit Hole, and I was like, there was this lady when I was like 2 or 2.5, because when you're a kid, you really you don't have any concept of time.
Right.
It's my birthday, Halloween, or Christmas.
Pretty much.
I don't know what other day it was.
Last day of school, first day of school. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we moved the year before I went to kindergarten. So I'm in the first house we lived in. So that would make me less than 4. And so I was probably like 3 or 2.5. And my mom and sister, this was like an old 1930s, 40s house. It's very small. And all the bedrooms are lined up on one side. So my mom and sister were in the first bedroom in my mom's room, and they were screaming and yelling and having a fight, just like moms and sisters or moms and kids do or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm in the middle room, and there was a light that starts shimmering through the window behind me. So I turn around and look, because that tree never moved. It was a Chinese tallow, and had like the little berries on it. So it would go shh, like little maracas. Mm-hmm. And so, I was like, oh, the tree's moving. And so I looked over at the tree, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I looked back, and there was a lady standing in front of me, and it's going to sound funny, but she looked like one of the fairy godmothers out of Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
Yep. That's my frame of reference. I'm 2.5, Cinderella and Beauty. You know, I don't think Jungle Book was made yet or anything, but or the Wizard of Oz, you know.
Yeah, right.
And so it was somebody I was not afraid of because, you know, I'd seen her before and she had this real kind of panicky look on her face. And she started talking to me, but she didn't move her mouth so I could understand her. So I guess it was telepathy.
Telepathic, yeah.
Who knew? We didn't know about that when you're 2.5. And she goes, "You're not like them." You know, she looked over. She goes, "You're one of us." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "You're not like them. You're one of us." And I said, "Okay." You know, I mean, who am I going to argue with? You know,
right.
And then the tree started shaking outside the window, and I looked back, and the lady was gone. I'm like, "Okay, that was weird." So, you know, I go and ask my mom. I said, "Mom, you know, Mama, who is that lady in the room?" And she goes, "There's no lady here." And you know, she and my sister stopped fighting for a little bit, and then she tells me, you know, go off or something. I was like, "Well, there was a lady here." And so whenever, you know, growing up, oh my gosh, when you feel like you're not normal, if you want to put it that way, or you're not one of the guys, or you're not one of the girls, and you don't fit in anywhere, I'd always remember that lady going, "You're not like them. You're one of us." And I'm like, okay. And I always found comfort in that. And so I was telling Andrea that, and she was, what'd she look like? And so I started describing her, and she's like, That was a shape-shifting ET.
Yep.
What?
I figured.
Okay. I thought it was the lady from Sleeping Beauty, but
I love that though. And then she told you what?
She was, what's the deal? Everyone's like, "Your eyes." I'm like, yeah, they are my eyes. She's like, "You're a hybrid." I'm like, okay. You know, I've heard that a couple of times before. Back when my daughter was born, there was like this little, well, they called them New Age stores at that time, a little New Age store. And there was a lady there. There's so much synchronicity in life.
Sure.
And she's like, you know, $20, I'll draw your spirit guide. I'm like, oh, I would love to know what my spirit guide looks like. And even if she's not legit, I'm going to get a good picture. Right. So she drew this lady, and she's like, and she starts telling me all about me. You know, I didn't tell her my name or anything. Facebook wasn't around yet, you know. And she's like, "Oh, you're very smart. You're very technical. You get really peeved when somebody can't pick something up as quickly as you can." I'm like, "Does it show?" And she's like, "You're from the Pleiades." I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" And so she started explaining it to me. It was the planet of blonde techno people. I'm like, "Okay, well, okay, I'll go there too."
You're right.
So when I was having my regression, I guess Edge of the Rabbit Hole, I met so many wonderful people there. One of our guests called me one time. She said, "If you ever want to do a past life regression, I'll do it for you." I'm like, "Okay, yeah.
Do it."
And so I learned so much. And that's one of the things I don't understand is, like, she told me I was connecting to the collective consciousness. That's why I was getting all these voices in my head, and, you know, and basically it was a download of information.
Yeah.
But Andrea's like, "No, you're talking to the galactic family." So, which is, or are they the same? Maybe. Anyway, the lady who was regressing me, she goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm, if you look at Orion, I'm from the system that's kind of up into the, well, if we're looking at up into the right, but the Pleiades are down further." And I'm like, "Well, I don't understand." So I started looking, well, what's out there? Because I don't know astronomy. I know astrology, but astronomy, I don't know. And so I started looking, and there was a sun, and I'm going to get it wrong, Arcturan or something like that. It's the one Edgar Casey was channeling.
Oh, I can't remember it either.
But it's Arch something. Anyway, so when I was talking to Andrea this weekend, she goes, "You're a hybrid. You're from Arcturan or something." Like, oh, okay, that's two. So
Yep. That's, well, then if that's the case, because that's, you know, ironically, one of the first things she said to me was, "You're Arcturian," and I'm like,
that's it. Yeah. Okay, now what do we do?
You know, it's been interesting because I really embraced it. I don't know. My dad's always been fascinated by UFOs. And so I even remember an experience as a kid, like looking at the stars, like the back. You know, remember when they were like station wagons where the back seat facing out, right? My parents had one, and I can remember. You start like 2.5. For me, I've started putting together about 6. And I just remember looking out at the stars, and I can remember there was a Journey, Open Arms by Journey. Why I remember that, I have no idea. I am a plethora of worthless knowledge, right? So, but I can very clearly remember saying that thinking at 6 that was home. Never put much credence to it, you know, but it's a very clear image in my head. And so when she started telling me that, and I had worked with someone as I started my path, same thing. She had mentioned the Arcturian thing, but I was like, I don't even know what the hell that means. So I never looked it up. But so when I hear it twice, I'm like, okay, there's something to this. And I don't know this woman from Adam's House Cat, right? I just met her dog yesterday. I didn't even know that was Roger and Andrea Perrin. I had no idea. No clue. So I just started calling them in. I mean, I started making a more concerted effort to talk to them. Andrea's taken me to space before. That was interesting. I've seen them several times, especially because I channel them with energy work always now. Unless my client's like completely opposed to it. Cause I always, you know, cause people do have legitimate fear of this stuff still. And, so I think just the more we connect with them, the more they make themselves known. I saw one today. I got flashed today. But I see them often.
Okay. You're going to teach me because the story takes a twist.
All right, hit it.
Okay, so I'm an October baby, right? And my dad worked with this man wherever they worked at, and I think the man was his boss or something, and they lived maybe 4 or 5 blocks away from where we did in Houston, and I'm just gonna call him Leland. That's his first name. Leland's wife had a baby. 11 days before me. So we were like forced best friends, you know, like go play Barbies, you know,
right.
We're going to do, you know, and she's a wonderful person. I love her to death. And, you know, we're going to go play dominoes over here. You go play Barbies. And so we grew up together, and my dad kind of, he did. He just walked off and left us when I was 8. And so from that time on, we really didn't have any connection.
Yeah.
So, but through the miracle of Facebook, we reconnected like 40 years later. And so we were driving out to Ballinger, which was like a 7-hour drive for us. And so we started chit-chatting. And that was the day the man was up on my back, and I took a picture of him. So coming home, we were talking about all sorts of weird stuff. And she goes, you know, I see him. I'm like, you see who? She goes, I see the UFOs. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I've never told anybody my story. You know, I was like, well, let's hear yours. And she goes, when I was about 3, you know, my ears perk up. She said they came and they took me. And she has a metal thing in her hand. And she goes, they took me aboard the ship. And she starts describing it. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps now.
Same.
And she goes, I felt so much love. I just didn't want to leave. And they told me, this is where you live. You'll come back here, but not right now. You need to go back down there because you got things to do down there. Right. But we'll come back and get you. And she said she cried and cried, and she didn't want to leave. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like what happened to me almost, you know, where they said, you're one of us, except I didn't get to go on the ship or anything. And we were just blocks away. So after we reconnected, I went over to her house. It was like looking in a mirror. You know, we have the same tablecloths, the same curtains, the same sofas, the same everything. And we lived in one part of Houston. And, you know, we lost contact with each other, and I moved all across the country with my job. I moved back. And so I was living in another part of Texas. She was there too. We were just a few miles apart from each other. We never knew it.
Wow.
For years, like 10 years, you know, we lived so close to each other. And so long drive back, you know, and I'm trying to stay awake. I'm like, where'd your dad work? Where did our dads work together? And so she named off all the places her dad worked. I'm like, my dad never worked at any of those places. I was like, okay. And her dad was in World War II, and they actually talked to the, I guess he was a sergeant, I think. They trained them how to interact with UFOs. You know, when you have contact, this is what you do. This is what you do. You report it to this. This is what, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And he would tell her, you know, Sally, I see them all the time. So now she sees them. And then I really started thinking, if this didn't get weird enough, my dad was in the Korean War, and he was stationed up in Washington State. And the thing they did was they guarded the missiles.
Right.
Okay. So he said one night, I don't know the right terminology, I'm sorry, but they were put on alert, and they were scrambling to get ready because on the radar, there was just this bunch of stuff coming over from the west. Yeah, that's west. Wow. Which would be Russia. Right. Because that's the only thing over there.
Yeah.
And so they're getting ready to shoot missiles or, back at Russia, and they were like, down to like 2 or 3 minutes before they had to launch everything. And everything just disappeared off the radar.
Wow.
And my dad would never talk about it. Her dad would, but my dad never did. So I don't know. It's just like all these weird, and I can't figure out where they work together,
Yeah. It's interesting too, because, like you said, the synchronicities are everywhere, and I firmly believe there's no accidents.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're both woo-woo as hell. So like, I don't think we have any problem just agreeing on that. Right.
No.
And I don't know. I find it interesting because I feel like, I've not been taken. I've gone places, but it's usually if I'm doing energy work, things will pop up or, I'll see them. The first time I saw them almost like oracally. I don't even know if that's a word, but do you remember in the 80s and 90s, they had, when they were starting to really raise money for AIDS awareness, and they had that artist that did the white figures, and they were all primary. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about, right? So the first time I saw them in my third eye, it was a figure like that, but on the outside edges, they were every color of the rainbow from red all the way out.
Yeah.
And then that was replaced with, and I remember you saying this, and I have used it ever since, when you mentioned how we see things in our third eye as spirits, and you said it was almost putting like two old-timey negatives together.
Yeah.
Well, I start getting that, and they're coming from but I'm getting the face. And I saw something recently that really resonated, because this person was saying every time they had contact, it was like they were right here, which is how they were coming at me. And I was not afraid. So it was the image of that outline with the colors of the aura, and then just face after face after face after face. And they would like pass by like this. And then I started getting images of them working on people. But I got the very distinct vibe that they're healing. They're helping, not hurting.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in your take on what you think. I mean, if we're hybrids, then we clearly have a mission, and I think we're on that path, right? Mm-hmm. Still trying to figure it out. But okay, your experience, like, have you ever been fearful of them? Do you feel a connection to them now that because mine was pretty quick after meeting Andrea, like starting to connect some dots.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, oh, that makes sense. Like things started making more sense to me. Right.
Yeah. Well, when I was pregnant, okay, you go like once, and then you go 3 months later, and then you go 3 months later, and then it's like every month or something. No, they said, no, you need to go every week. So I had to go to the doctor every single stinking week. So I was going one time, I was probably 5 or 6 months pregnant, and I was going to go have lunch with my husband, and it was exactly a 20-minute drive, so I timed it out. I would have been there like 10 minutes early. So I'm driving down the street. It's Houston, freaking traffic everywhere, dirty trash everywhere. So I pull up to this red light, and it's 3 lanes going one way, 3 lanes going the other way, and then three. So it's this huge, huge intersection. And I've never seen it so clean in my life. I'm like, wow, this is the cleanest intersection. There's no trash, and there are no cars, and I'm looking around. And so I'm sitting at the red light, I'm looking up at the red light. I'm like, this is so weird. It's noon, and there are no cars here.
Crowded and dirty and nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. And I looked up at the red light, and then I saw something way up high, and I'm like, that's a UFO. And so I was watching it, and then I was just doing this, watching red light, UFO. And, and I'm waiting. I'm like, where's the cars? How come there's nobody here? I want to point it out, and it was round, and you could tell it was turning because it shimmered, the grays were different colors and stuff as it turned. And I watched it, and I was like, okay, red light. Okay. Nobody's around, and this went on for 2 or 3 minutes until the light turned green. So the light turned green. I looked, and it's there. Still no cars around. And so I go through the intersection, right? I look up and it's gone. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I start driving along. Here comes some cars, and it's like, you need to mow the yard. This looks like crap over here, Oh, I'm back in Houston.
Right.
So, I go to, my husband worked at Channel 20. So I drive down to Channel 20 and he's like, where the hell you been? I was like, well, I went to the doctor and I'm here.
I'm 10 minutes early, right?
Yeah. And he goes, you're 40 minutes late. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm 40 minutes late? I stopped at one red light and I just drove the whole time.
So you lost time.
Yeah. So I didn't put it together until I was talking to a friend of mine. He goes, so let me get this right. You were pregnant. You saw a UFO and you lost 40 minutes. Oh my God. It's like, I never put that together.
Right. I'm having an alien baby. No.
Well, that's what he said. He goes, go look at your daughter's head. So when I was doing my regression, I asked the lady, I was like, okay, did that really happen? And she's like, yeah, they watch people. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, why do they watch me? And so she was regressing me and everything. And I was like, well, why were you watching me? And you told me. And they said, well, because we like you. Like, oh, okay. So, I mean, and then that's like my friend saying, because she swears she had a baby and she saw the baby, but it was not exactly human. It was a little bit more alien-esque, I guess you could say. So, I don't know. But yeah, for healing, I think the healing, because a person I know was in a car wreck. And so I sent him a care package a couple weeks ago. And it's like, okay, these are all, because every time I talk to him on the phone, he's like, pills. Yeah. Pills. I'm in pain. I can't do this. I'm like, okay, let me send you a package. I'm going to send you some selenite. I'm going to make little things for you. I don't think he's used it yet. But he did use the tequila I sent him because I like, that's a muscle relaxant, So, just don't chug it. We're not trying to get drunk. You're just trying to relax the muscles a little bit. So, I do that kind of stuff all the time. And, queen of the cats here, they've all come to me right before they died. So, yeah.
I always say it's like we and I don't know if it's the mediumship or the energy healing or a combination of all of it or the hybrid side of it. But it's like, I think those of us that play in this field, from a sensitive's perspective, it's like we glow different or something. You know what I mean? Like in a world full of black and white, maybe we're like tie dye. I don't know, but it's like, they obviously know us well before we're here, but
yeah, a lady
wake up.
Yeah, a lady told me that this weekend. Because the path going up to see Andrea was very small, and the bushes were overgrown and everything, and there were tables, and so people were coming down the hill. I'm like, well, okay, I'll just step over because I'm one person and they're like 15, and so I'm standing in the dirt, and she walks up to me and she goes, "I know you." I'm like, "No, pretty sure you don't. I'm just a nobody." And she's like, "I know you. I know you." And I was like, "No, I'm just a Texan. I'm just a girl. I'm standing here in the bushes. I'm hoping there's no poison ivy behind me." And she's like, "No, you're good. You're good." I'm like, "I'm just standing here in the bush right now." She's like, "No,
no shoes on. Face is red."
Yeah, I look like Violet from Willy Wonka. But my hair looked good.
And in Texas humidity, that's impressive. It's like Florida's humidity. Forget it.
Yeah,
I had curly hair before I got on tonight. Humidity killed it.
I've never had curly hair.
I get that a lot too. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier because you told me what you had said, which I about dropped my phone from laughing about the poison ivy comment. But I got that today, twice at the little shop I work at. I get that all the time. I know you, I've seen you, I've met you. And I'm like, no, I'm just a girl in Florida trying not to melt into a puddle, So
in bushes.
Right. So I wonder if I don't know if it's energetically. Of course, everything's energy, but like,
I think so. That's what she kept telling me. She goes, "You're glowing." I'm like, it's 97, sweetheart. She's like, "No, you have people around you and you're glowing." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrea said, and I was trying to remember the exact word, and I only talked to her for like half a second today. But whatever is around you is not an aura. It's bigger. I just can't think of the word. I feel like it started with an E, but when I get it from her, I'll text it to you. But she said It was so bright. Like she'd never really seen anything like it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's so cool. Oh, thank you.
Because I was down there. What day did I pick the dog up? I picked her up on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And I told her that, obviously you and I were talking, and that's what so I have to tell people too, this is funny because when I was talking to Andrea, because I always run by, who I'm having, because it's her show, and she's nice enough to let me step in. And she was all like, oh, you're having Victoria, how she gets all excited. And I was like, we really want to sort of discuss, now that you've told us both we're hybrids, we kind of want to go down that hole and see, where we end up at. And she pulls out her calendar, right? Andrea still keeps a handwritten calendar for all of you who don't know that. She does. So everything she's got going on is on that calendar. So she pulls it out, and it's one of those, like wall hanging calendars. And she points at tonight. Yeah, right. So she points at tonight's date, and it has, what was it? UFO contact. We're already here. And I'm like, of course. That's what she was planning on discussing anyway. So of course the universe synchronistically has aligned that as usual. But she was so excited that you were coming to do this.
Thank you so much. I'm just,
She loves you.
Oh, I love her. She made me cry. She was hugging me. Man, we both looked disheveled and red in the face, but I don't care. Because the guy was trying to get my phone to work, and I said, oh, you're the sister I always wanted.
Yeah.
She said something, I don't know, but so anyway, she's so sweet. I was crying like, oh, one more hug, please.
Yeah, I know. Well, her hugs are the best. I mean, I try to explain to people that haven't met her. I have never felt energy like that from any other human being I've ever met. And what's interesting is my parents got to meet. They came when we were up at Andrea's mom's house in Villa Rica, because my parents are in Atlanta, and it's only 50 or 60 miles away. So my parents came down to have lunch and meet Andrea and her sister Christine. And my father was a salesman for 30 years. He can talk to anyone. I think that's probably where I get it from. And I had told him, I'm like, this I think will be the first time in your life you're going to be bowled over by someone energetically. You don't know what that feels like. And he just was like, oh, no way. Speechless. Couldn't find the words. And he was looking at, he said he was trying to describe what her eyes look like, and he literally couldn't get the words out.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so gobsmacked by the energy she carries. Yeah. And then he emailed me later. He's like, I felt so stupid. I couldn't get the words out. He was trying to say that her eyes were blue, but they're like diamonds on the outside. And he was assigning that to UFO stuff. He's like, I've never seen anything like it. I was like, I told you, man. It's no joke, but it's like you feel better when you're around her. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Energetically.
I mean, it was no joke. It was like waiting for Santa, and it was just so hot, and people are just like, but when they get to her, they would perk up. And I told the guy in front of me, I'll take a picture if you want, he's like, okay. And so, I was doing the camera. I said, we'll say Fuzzy Pickles. I was trying to get a reaction out of him, and they're like, yeah. And I say, okay, Buttercup. And Andrea just lit up. Yeah. Like, Princess Buttercup.
Princess Buttercup. That's what I love about this community. I have met the most amazing people in this year. It's just so astounding, and somebody like you do so many different things. I mean, I want you to talk about your books too, because, speaking of your books, I just finished reading, was it volume 3 of Feminine Macabre?
I'm in volume 2.
So I need to get the other ones. I met Alex Metsuo at an event.
Yeah.
I loved volume 3. I read it so fast. So I want to go back and get the other ones I haven't read yet. And I know you're a writer in volume 2. So that was kind of skinny on your author life. Like what you got going on, what your books are, that for the people that don't know, and how you kind of started writing. Yeah,
Katie! I love her. I'm going to be Katie's minion when I grow up. I'm going to dig rocks for her.
Oh, can I come too? I love rocks.
Yes. Katie, is that okay?
Can I be your minion?
Sure.
Katie's minion. I'll be the under minion. Okay, sorry.
Please, somebody take the Diet Coke. Okay. Long story short, my husband died. Boo-hoo. Okay. It really was tragic. Okay. Yeah. If it's like Monkey, if I really start talking about it, so I make light of it. Yes. So that's what my story is. I was in Arizona. He was in Houston. And I was working 2 jobs, raising our daughter. I was kind of pissed, because I'm doing all the work and he's having a good time. And I come home one night and I was working at PetSmart. And, if you work around dogs all day, you stink, and you're just
Yes.
You know? So I'm coming in, I'm dropping my purse. I'm like, I have like 3 hours I can lay across my bed and I'm going to sleep. And I walk in and his name was Scott. He was in the corner of my room and he was like that with his head down. He had a cutaway jacket on, just like when we got married. And there might have been an expletive or 10 because, I'm a Texan, and I was like, I just don't have time for you, and so I flopped across the bed. Your rabbit hole. Katie's awesome. And so I'm like, I don't have time for you. And then I knew I was just angry because he'd stopped paying child support and all that kind of stuff. We were about to get evicted from the little apartment, and I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I'm trying, or no, she was older than that by then. She was 17 by then, and I'm trying my best to raise her, and I'm working 2 jobs, and it's kind of tired. So I flop across the bed, and I'm not quite asleep yet, and I feel the bed pressed down behind me. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? I'm like, somebody is in bed with me, and there was nobody in bed with me. And I'm like, well, if it's anybody, it's Scott, and that's the guy I married, and we have a daughter, and I'm not afraid of him. Like, just get in bed and we'll talk tomorrow. So I go to sleep, and I wake up, go to work, come home the next night. Well, who the hell do you think's in the corner again? Oh, there you are again. So I'm like, oh, I just don't have time for you. So I flop across the bed and like, just get in bed behind me, It's a cool thing. I had my grandmother's bed. So it's this old iron bed. It was General Grant's granddaughter's bed. So that's how old it is.
Wow.
And I have to sleep diagonal because I'm tall.
Yeah.
So I'm diagonal across the bed. And I'm like, just get in bed. Get behind me. We'll talk tomorrow. Guess what? The bed presses down again. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, if it's a ghost, can you at least put some cold air out? Because this is Arizona and it's hot.
It's hot. Help a sister out.
No. You think you could help me once, but no. So this goes on for 3 weeks. Each night, I have the most wonderful dreams. I start falling in love again. I keep seeing the good things. I could feel his arm around me, and I slept so well for those 3 weeks. And I'm thinking, okay, this is just me trying to rationalize and get over my anger because he was a douche. Can you say that? Sorry.
Absolutely.
And I was just trying to get over the anger and I have a wonderful daughter and I raised her. Let's just say that, So I got over the anger slowly, and I started thinking about the good times we had and thinking, she'll be 18 soon. Maybe I can contact him. And, because we always talk about working in a little TV station somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and just being master control operators. And, that's not a bad life,
Right.
So one night I come home and he's not there. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm over it. So I go to bed, get up the next morning, and I check my email real quick. And there's an email from my brother-in-law that called me. It's like, oh my God, I haven't talked to you in 20 years. So I call him and I say, hey, what's going on? He goes, Scott died. I was like, what do you mean Scott died? No, he's been hanging out here for 3 weeks. And he's like, and he knew that, there was a money issue and that we were about to lose our apartment. And he goes, go to the Social Security office now because it's going to take a while. And you can start getting the Social Security funds for your daughter. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay. So, and I'm upset because, why the hell have I been dreaming about him for 3 weeks? And this is something that's happened over and over and over. Every time somebody in my family is going to die or they're very sick or they have just died, they show up and go, hey. So I think it's like, prepping me so I can fall apart. So when it actually does happen, I can be strong for the other people.
Yeah.
But this was the longest one, 3 weeks. And so I go to file the paperwork and the lady goes, okay, well, we need a death certificate. I'm like, well, how am I going to get that? Just go home, call the coroner back in Texas and they'll issue one. I'm like, okay. So I go home. So I call the coroner and they're like, oh, and I explain the story and they're like, just a minute, please. And so they transfer me. I'm like, oh my God. So now this is twice I've had to tell the story in one day.
Right.
So the lady goes, can I help you? And I tell the story again 3 times now. And she's like, oh, just a minute, please. I'm like, oh.
Like, don't transfer me again. Right.
And I'm crying already, because I'm upset, here comes the big supervisor. I'm like, oh, please just don't make me tell this story again. I was about to lose it.
Yeah.
She goes, we just need his name. And so I told her his name. And she goes, oh, well, we can't issue a death certificate yet just because of the nature of the decomposition. I'm like, well, okay, what do you mean? I don't understand what any of this means. And she goes, well, his body is too decomposed and we can't determine the cause of death yet. I'm like, what do you mean? That he just died yesterday? I mean, come on, give me a break. She says, no, they found him yesterday. He's been dead for 3 weeks and he was in his apartment. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
So that's what my story is in the Feminine. You can read it. It's much more eloquently written. So
I find that fascinating because I've had where if someone dies, I get them almost as soon as they've passed, they'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And then I never see them again. So for you to experience that for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it
that's
happened.
Incredible.
The first one was my grandfather. I was 7. And I knew he had died and I got sent to bed early. I didn't get to watch the World of Disney. So, right. It's like 7:00 and I'm in bed. I'm like, what the hell,
Right.
So I'm playing with my toys. And there's this milky form that just appears on my floor. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And it wasn't quite dark yet. It was dusky dark. And it turns into the shape of a man laying down. And he sits up and he's looking forward. And I'm over here in my bed. And he just turns his head. Again, he's not talking. He's just communicating telepathically. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to say anything. And he tells me I'm okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. He's going to lay down and go to bed. I'm like, it's, 7:00 at night. It's like, okay, well, if Grandpa told me to go to bed, I'll go to bed. So it happened with my grandfather, my grandmother I was living with. This was a whole drawn out. I saw the whole funeral and everything. My best friend for 3 days. That was a wild one because I tried to find her for 3 days. Couldn't find her. Couldn't get her phone number. I couldn't find where she worked. I couldn't get in touch with her mother. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I just know something was happening. I was sick to my stomach. I was crying. It was horrible. And finally on Monday, I'm not going to cry. Her mom calls me and goes, we lost Cheryl. I'm like, what do you mean you lost her? She's like, she died. I was like, I've been trying to find you since Friday. I've been leaving, answering machine messages and for 3 days. And she was, well, about the time you called, that's when they were taking her out in the gurney and she went into a coma. Oh. And I was like, oh, great. Well, here we go again. My dad, I knew for 2 weeks my dad was going to die. My mom, she was pissed. So, this just goes on. Oh, I forgot what your question was now.
It doesn't matter. I was going to talk books. So
books. Okay. So my husband died, right? So, after, I don't know, 15, 20 years, whatever. No, I haven't been that long. I want to have some companionship, so I start dating again. So, when you get to be a certain age, you're like, oh my God, I can't really tell you the truth because you'll run off out the door.
Right.
So it's like, what's your favorite color? Yellow. What kind of pizza do you like?
What's the average velocity of a swallow? Eastern or European? That kind of stuff. Right.
Right. There's a joke in there, but never mind. I'll have to tell you later.
That's an offline conversation, right?
Line off topic. So he's like, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, well, I really don't think I should tell you. He's like, no, what do you do? I'm like, well, I draw and I paint. I used to play classical guitar and, all that kind of stuff. Everything Libra, I sew, and I said, okay, how do you feel about scary movies? I put my scream mask on. Right. How do you feel about scary movies? He's like, oh, they're okay. I'm like, well, what about their true ones? And he's like, yeah, I've never really, we had this kind of conversations. Like, well, I don't know. I'm on the fence. He's like, why? I'm like, well, I do paranormal investigations. So I'm ready.
Here it is. Yeah.
Well, it's been 10 minutes. You're still here. That's good. So he's like, oh my God. So I start telling him all about my family and some of the things I've done. He's like, you need to write a book. I'm like, my personal philosophy is I don't do the jump scare. the whole reason I was in the hotel by myself. It's not scary. It's all energy. It's quantum physics, blah, blah, blah. They're not limited to this world, this dimension. It's the negative thing, and it's really a bitch when you're driving and they're coming at your face like this and you do this all the time. Does that happen to you?
Dodging.
Man, it happens all the time. You think someone's going to come at you. It's a car. No, it's a spirit, or something.
Right.
So get out of my face. So he goes, you need to write a book. I'm like, what am I going to do? Call it Victoria Mundae's Paranormal Activities, the coloring book. Because it's nothing scary, and he's like, huh? And I started thinking, that's a pretty good idea.
Right.
Maybe I should do this. So I started teaching myself graphic design because I had
really?
Because I didn't date him,
Right. Well,
Saturday night, what am I going to do? Well, let's see. Graphic design sounds good. So I started So I started creating these books, and they're paranormal activity books. So
I think that's amazing.
They have word searches, and everything's related to the paranormal realm or something esoteric or something in the woo-woo. So it's word searches and it's coloring books, and I threw Sudoku in there for the hell of it, because once you start, thinking a different way and start looking at things a different way, you see things differently.
Correct.
So I said, hey, this is fun. So, I made this big old book. I'm like, well, now what am I going to do? Got another week. Oh, let me do a kid's book. So I started doing a kid's book, and it's like little kids' pictures. But here's what I didn't realize. When you make a little kid's book, the pages are little. So,
right.
So the puzzles are very little.
Very small.
I'm like, damn it, now you can't see them. So I made a big one. My daughter goes, well, just take the two, because I made 2 kids' books. And she goes, take the 2 kids' books, put some bigger designs in, or more designs, make it bigger, call it a deluxe edition.
Brilliant.
Oh, you're smart.
You're like, she is definitely my child.
Like you. You learned that from Zelda, didn't you? Okay, yeah, the deluxe $50 Zelda book. Anyway, I'm like, okay, so now I'm kind of getting the graphic designs down a little bit, and I'm understanding publishing just a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to really try this time. So I did one called, I get them mixed up. The 5th one is something. It's either The Awakening. I think it's The Awakening. And it's more esoteric. It's like, why are triangles important? Why are the synchronicities in this? What's 369? What's the importance of that?
Get into like sacred geometry and numbers. Yep.
And the mandalas and, elephants. I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. And then I have a friend who is Wiccan, and she's like, well, these are pretty cool. I'm like, okay, you're next. So the next one is, I forget which is which. One's called The Awakening and one's Stepping Beyond the Veil. I did them all in the same week, so I get confused. So the 6th one is kind of witchy. So there's a grimoire in it, and there's like a manifestation page where like January, I'm going to manifest this, and then I go into candle magic and color magic and flower magic. And, why is it important to say these things, the power of intentions, and, it just goes on. So those are those books.
But I love that too, because it's a different spin on teaching people about this stuff.
Exactly. That's the main
somebody like me who's an adult. I love coloring. Like when I first got sober, I did a lot of coloring just because I had all this free time now. And so coloring, because to me, coloring, or like you're saying, puzzles, crossword puzzles, anything like that, it's almost its own form of meditation.
It is. It is.
Because it allows you to focus on one thing. You're not really so worried about, the world around you. You can really just kind of dive in, but it's such a unique twist on those subjects in the woo-woo world.
It's paranormal activity.
Activity book. But I think that's neat because, there's so many books on, God, how many books have we read between the two of us on, esoterics, metaphysics, insert subject here, but how many people have an activity book for it?
0. I did my research.
It's just a cool spin on it. And I love that it's adults and kids. And
it's nothing scary. It really is not.
Well, I think too, I was talking to a woman today. I think for a lot of people, especially if they're newer on this journey, they're and Andrea and I have talked about this at length as well. They're lacking words. So I have allergies like crazy. So I keep itching my nose because something is blooming. But we were talking about how people are lacking words. Like they don't understand energetically like what's going on, especially if they're a sensitive type person. And so those of us who are in the world of trying to teach people tools, you're just providing another tool to assign words and knowledge, and it helps people understand what's happening around them. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Are you bringing Toby up?
Did you hear me? Hold it. Come here, boy.
Here, I'll grab mine.
Wonder Cat. Oh, she's gone. Oh, there you go.
Wonder Dog. She just was like, why'd you wake me up? I'm so comfy over here. Hi, Toby. I'm glad you're feeling better.
He speaks English. Did I tell you what happened in the middle of the night? Was it you I was telling?
In the shower?
Yeah. Well, I could not sleep for whatever reason. And I was having this dream about this person I'm currently infatuated with. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I was like, well, I'm awake. I better go to the bathroom, And so,
right.
You know how it is when you're trying to not wake up, but you need to go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom or something. So I'm walking along. I have my head, one eye open, so I'm seeing where I'm going. Toby comes walking in the door. He looks the same way. He's got one eye open. He's dragging his string along, and I bump into him, and he goes, ah! And I'm like, I'm sorry, Sarah, you go right ahead. I look at my watch. It's 2:22, and I'm like,
of course it is.
You go exactly. And 2 is all about duality and couples and all that kind of stuff. Of course, That's why I'm going to wake up. And so I'm like, go ahead, sir, please. You were here first. And so he walks and he just goes in the shower and lays down.
Animals are so weird, but they're
I don't know why you're in the shower, but
they're absolutely the best. They really are. I won't be able to wait long for another one. That's been nice having Peanut this week because I've missed. My husband travels a lot, so this was like my first trip with him gone without Monkey. So it's been really nice to have the Peanut. And God, everything's smaller. Monkey was like 65 pounds, small by boxer standards, but
wow,
she's like 12 pounds or something like that. I mean,
yeah,
you lose her in a blanket. She's currently sitting on this giant, those big adult-sized beanbag chairs. It's got like 5 blankets on it, 4 pillows, and she just burrows deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. I'm glad you got to bring Toby up. He's so cute. I'm glad he's feeling better.
He is. He ended up going into the hospital. Well, I moved. I'm in the paranormal witness protection. I don't tell people where I'm at anymore. People stalk you. Anyway.
I haven't had to deal with that, fortunately.
So I just don't tell people where I live anymore. I don't blame friends you. I'll tell, but publicly. Anyway, I got here. I moved up here. I'm in North Texas, and it was my daughter's cat. And so, like the second day I'm here, he's like, ah! So I take him to the vet the next morning. And the vet yells at me, and I've got tears coming out of my. Not my cat. He's really not my cat.
Right.
I had him a day. He was like a day away from dying. So he ended up going to the hospital 5 times in 2 weeks, and he had surgery. And I'm like, hi. So it's rough. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We're squirreling, and that's okay. That's the best part about the two of us. We knew, we just bounce around from subject to subject. We're still talking about your books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else? Okay, so what else have you've done? Other things aside from the activity, you've appeared in you've written pieces for other books, or like stories, kind of as Feminine Macabre, where each author has a chapter or a section. Yeah. So give us a skinny on what you got going on there too.
So in February, Unrequited Love, that's a big major part. You can't be a Libra and not have a partner. It's just like, don't have an arm or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was like right before Valentine's Day, and I woke up one morning and whomever it is that talks in my head goes, get up, we're going. Like, okay, I'm unemployed. I've been laid off for a few months. Where are we going? We're going to Jefferson. I'm like, okay, that's about 5 hours from here. What are we going to do? And like, just get them go. Like, okay. So I got up and went, and, I checked into a hotel. It was like a Wednesday. And so I checked into the historic Jefferson Hotel, which is pretty sure it is the most haunted hotel in Texas, And so I get there and the guy's taking me up to my room, the owner, and he goes, well, no one else checked in tonight, so you're going to have the run of the place to yourself. I'm like, really? Well, that's kind of cool. Can I just walk around, look and do stuff? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, by the way, here's my phone number. He goes, I have to go to the store. Back in a few hours. I'm like, wait a minute, what? You're leaving me here alone.
Here's the keys to the hotel.
Pretty much. He locked me in. He's like, if you sit on the bed, just straighten it. I'm like, okay. So, I had the run of the hotel for a couple of hours, and it's such a cool place. I was downstairs and everything. It is very haunted. I saw third eye thing. There was a man standing behind me. You have to get the book. But I described him to the owner when he came back, and he goes, yeah, you know about Spielberg, right? I'm like, no. He goes, Spielberg was staying across the street when he was shooting Sugarland Express, like back in the early 70s or something. Okay. He saw that man, the very same man. And the guy that owns the hotel now, he goes, I've seen him a few times. I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, that man scared Spielberg so much, he became the Hat Man in the Poltergeist movies.
Really?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
That's great. Now, which book is this story in?
That's in my only nonfiction one. My Night in the Most Haunted Hotel in Texas, a very true ghost story.
I know what they are. I just want other people to hear them because, I want people
the world's longest title. So, yeah. So it's got some other adventures in there. And I was downstairs and I opened up a cabinet because I'm nosy. And it's an armoire and there's a staircase. Well, I'm going up, So
what?
Yeah, I'm claustrophobic, so I didn't think that one through all the way. So I'm like, and you come through a floor on the second floor, you show up in another room.
Through the armoire, like Narnia style.
Yeah. So, I was just having fun. So, yeah.
Now, so when you go to these places, and you've done a lot of investigating, do you balance... Because I know you do use some tech. You mentioned your Ovilus. Are there specific types of equipment that you prefer to use that you find more helpful? And do you usually go in with your spidey senses first and then use the tech to validate? Or do you kind of do everything at the same time?
I overpack, so I bring everything.
Everything.
If it can have been made or if it could have been made, I bring it. And then I forget to use it.
Right.
So, I usually walk around with a recorder, and sometimes that's in my pocket and my phone, because you go everywhere with your phone nowadays.
Yeah.
But no, it's just me. I just, go around talking to people, and it's like when I was in the hotel, the Jefferson Hotel, there are themed rooms, and so, and they have these velvet ropes that go across the door. And so there's this one room, it's a doll room, and it's got the creepiest dolls. Everything's like Annabelle on crack or whatever that doll's name is, and they're hanging from the ceiling upside down, and like some of them don't have an eye. And I'm like, oh my God, I collect Barbies.
Yeah. But that's a whole nother level of, creepy dolls they're creepy dolls.
And they're like 4 feet tall, and they're standing there in the corner. And, so I look in and it's like, hey. I'm Victoria.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Gotta go. Can I take a picture? So I took a couple of pictures, and you always ask.
Yes.
So I took a couple of pictures, and I walked on about 10 feet down the hall, and I hear, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, oh, that's got to be motion activated.
No.
Well, that's what I thought. So I go on down the hall. So when the owner comes back, he was like, hey, how you doing? Having a good time? I'm like, so the dolls, they laughed after I walked by. So they're motion activated, right? And he's like, nope.
You're like, you just lie to me. Just lie to me. That's the one time I want you to lie to me.
There they are. It's wild. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Swirling. My next question for you, because I don't know.
I don't bring equipment. That was it. I don't bring equipment. I have it. I don't bring it.
Just don't bring it with you.
It's too much. I usually have a Diet Coke.
Always.
That I think, seriously, all joking aside, I drink so much Diet Coke. I think that's why I've never gotten COVID.
Oh, I drink a lot of Diet Coke. I did get it, but very, 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 very mildly.
Okay.
I was very lucky.
Well, I'm sorry you got it, but I'm glad you're better. But, I'm so filled with whatever that long word is that starts with a P.
Well, for caffeine, Diet Coke. I finished my coffee. I have a Diet Coke and I also have a water. So I'm pretty much made of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
If you were to cut me, I would bleed Diet Coke.
The same. Absolutely the same. So I also am curious too. We've talked woo-woo stuff before. You're a sensitive. I'm always fascinated. Do you study the clairs at all? The clair abilities?
Do I study them?
Or not study them, but because some people are familiar with them, some people aren't. I'm assuming that you are. My reason for asking that is I'm learning that most sensitives have multiple of them.
Oh, I've got them all.
You do? What's your strongest typically? Is there one that you rely on more or that kicks in first when you're somewhere or picking up things?
Does it
just depend?
I hear incredibly well. Boom. Oh, okay. Well, blah, 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 blah. How do you know that? I don't know. And smell. Because I can always tell, did you smell that? What? It smells like a man with a cigar. No, I don't smell anything. And 3 minutes later, oh, do you smell that?
You're like, I told you.
Just listen to me.
Yeah. And do you feel like they're morphing all the time? Like they're expanding? I feel like the more too you start connecting with the galactics, now that you've had that, conversation with Andrea, I found that mine were starting to really even blow out more than they had been. Some things that I only experienced occasionally, because I'm like you, I get the downloads. The claircognizance is my strongest. Oh, yeah. I just know shit.
Really great.
Clairsentience is the other one. I don't know, or I guess they call it clairsomatic, where you're at a location, somebody's been shot, you feel the physical pain of it.
Oh,
I have that one. And then visually, I never was able to see anything in my third eye up till about 2 years ago.
It truly is like a double vision. It's like two negatives put together, and then you're looking, and then you're like, you have to do a lot of blinking.
You do. Mine is, I try to hang on to them. I've gotten better now, but for the longest time, it would appear like you were saying, but they just go, just zoom by. I can only get a split second of being able to hang on to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. I always look in one part of my head and I can see them. So
I think that's funny too, because all of us get our information differently. And then I always know something. I'm about to see something because things start moving around in my third eye in one specific location. And then I know, okay, we'll just hang here for a minute because something's coming through. You know what I mean?
I know. I've watched old episodes of Edge of the Rabbit Hole and my eyes are always going like this. And I realize, oh, somebody's talking to me.
That's not in the little computer box on my desk. I find all the woo-woo world is so fascinating to me. There's no end in the amount of knowledge that you can obtain. And then of course you throw in the UFO end of it, because I've always kind of looked at it as the same radio, just different stations, whether it's paranormal or UFO or cryptids or whatever it is. It's just different channels of the same kind of radio. Mm-hmm. But I do find it fascinating how different people get their information. But I'm also equally fascinated by what people do to ground and protect their energy. And I've asked you that, I think, on Edge of the Rabbit Hole before. But it's my favorite question to ask people, especially as sensitives, because everybody does something different. And I always learn something new that I can either use or I should learn more about.
I think one of my pet peeves, and I've seen so many people do this, they're like, you can use my energy. No, you can't. I mean, it's no. Would you drive past a jail, open the door and say, hey, woo, come on out? No, I mean, I live in prison country. When I went to college, I'm like, you keep your doors locked. So I always have, I didn't realize I did it till a couple of years ago, but just an energy bubble. Mm-hmm. And I draw down the moon to keep me grounded. But when I was out in Old Town Spring, I'd have when I was doing the ghost tours, people would take pictures and I was all blurry. Why am I blurry? So it's just an automatic response. Just throw up an energy shield and, because what if you
heard the moon before? Draw down the moon?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard that one before.
Oh, it's an old I think it's Gardenian witchcraft or something. But you know how the moon has power.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So you just call the moon, draw down the moon, and it comes into your hands, and you can actually feel the power, and it comes down, and it just goes down into your feet, and then from your feet to the ground. So now you're grounded. So if you need, energy or protection or something, you just call on the moon. The moon's always there. You may not see it. It could be, a new moon. It could be sunshine or whatever. The moon's always there.
Yeah.
So
I just hadn't heard drawing down the moon because I know I draw down to ground as well, but I usually draw with source just because of the Reiki that I channel. That's usually but it's the same principle.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I love that question, because I always learn something new that I didn't already know.
It's a really big book too. It's called Drawing Down the Moon by Margaret Atwood.
Ooh, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, it's an old book. I guess it's still in print. I don't know. When I worked in a bookstore, I started working in a bookstore in the 80s. And one of the things they let us do was read books because it was a used bookstore. Mm-hmm. So I read the New Age section, and then I went next door and I read religion and philosophy and theology and history. And then I just kept working my way around, and so it's amazing what you can find when you read.
Do you have a favorite subject you like to learn about?
Woo-woo.
The woo-woo, anything New Age?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn astrology. Mm-hmm. It's starting to click.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still kind of out there.
There's so much to learn in astrology. I have a girlfriend who's I've had on the show before, my friend Robin. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I've never. It doesn't. It's not that it doesn't resonate. It's just something I haven't learned, but I always find it fascinating. Like my natal chart, people are like, oh, my sun's rising this, my moon. I'm like, I have to ask Robin, what are my signs? But I've tried to start focusing on that more because I started learning through natal chart reading that I had done. One, how accurate that shit is. Yeah. And then two, it's really important. You get a lot of information about yourself when you have a reading like that done.
Yeah. When I was in San Antonio this weekend, I read this guy's palm.
Oh, did you really?
I was like, oh, let me see your ring. Ah, damn it. Come on, be gone with you.
For the astrology side of it, what are you diving into most? I mean, are you into numerology? Are you tarot? Like, what are you into?
Oh, I do tarot. Been doing that for years. Yeah, as far as astrology goes, and I didn't know this was rare. Mm-hmm. I guess it happens, but the lady seemed kind of, I don't know, freaked out. So I'm a Libra, so I'm very fair and balanced. And I like chocolate.
Me too.
I have a 0 degrees Aquarius rising. So most people don't have 0 degrees, some other number.
Right.
And I have a 0 degree Leo descending. So the Libra, okay, very balanced, wants a relationship and loves chocolate. Aquarius, that's the very woo-woo, so that's how you appear to the world as your rising sign. Okay. So, nothing against Aquarians, because I love Aquarian people. They're kind of the dumb blondes because they're so in their head, they're like, woo, you butterfly.
Like the floaty headed. Yeah.
Quantum physics, butterfly, the butterfly can fly because of ether, and, it just goes on. So that's how people, and it works really well when you play poker too, because people perceive you as being a vacuous, empty head, know nothing. But I have a Leo descendant, which means I'll kick your ass if you push me. So,
duality as always. The grounding and the floating.
Yep.
You can dive down that rabbit hole. Like my girlfriend did that natal chart reading for me, and the notes she took, it was like 3 pages worth of information. I'm like, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. But that's the piece that I need to start diving into more, because I know there's so much information there.
Yeah.
But people pull tarot cards and I'm like, I don't know. I even took a tarot class and it didn't stick in my brain. But I appreciate the hell out of somebody pulling cards for me. You know what I mean? I knew you were going to do that. How did I know that?
I knew you were going to ask that. That's why I went and got them.
Can't put anything over a psychic, can you?
Yeah. I was going to say something I forgot. What were you talking about?
We were talking about all things astrology and how important it is to know that information, because there's a ton of it. and how you appear to the world and what you actually are and the balances of both.
So one of the rings I always wear is, can't really see it. Mm-hmm. I wear a silver ring on my index finger now. I used to wear it on my middle finger. And I didn't realize that, or maybe I just didn't know that each finger represents a planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your middle finger is Saturn. Saturn suppresses.
Okay.
And I went through like 3 years of crap, and I was like, and things got really dark. Things took a really dark turn. And I'm very thankful for my daughter who kept me from going over an emotional oubliette, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read one day that if you want to change your luck, just change your rings. I'm like, that's
interesting.
So I changed it from my Saturn finger to my Jupiter. Jupiter's expansion. It's the big protector. So the next day I was offered a job. I'm like, why the hell did I do this 3 years ago?
That's the thing. That's what's so crazy about all this stuff. Again, didn't know about the rings, the planets for each finger.
Yeah, and then gemstones, they resonate differently, different vibrational frequencies, depending on what, like peridot would be money. You should put that on your index finger. You're going to have more money, and it's like, well, we'll try that later. But
but that's, as an energy person, I'm kind of weird because, for most people, your receiving hand is your left hand.
Yeah.
And you're pushing out. I'm opposite. And I've had people argue with me. They're like, no, it's not. It's the other way. And I'm like, I don't know why mine's backwards. And I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed, but the amount of power in hands and fingers is astounding.
So the card that jumped out is the Ace of Disc.
What's that?
Disc or money. Aces are new beginning. We are astrologically, sweet Jesus. Astrologically, we're going into eclipse season. So the month of October, I think from October, I just wrote that down. October 2nd or October 4th, I can't remember, through December is supposed to be a very good time financially. Like all the crap we've gone through the last couple of years, we've planted those seeds. And so now they actually come to being. So the second card that popped out was rebirth. So you got something new coming.
Add it to the list. Everything in the last year in my life is new. I'll take more new.
That's true. I came up to this undisclosed place that I'm at now in June because they had an event and they said, you can be a vendor and you can bring your books. And I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? So I came up here and I was like, I really like this town. And so I was with a friend of mine. It's like, I wonder if there's any houses here. Oh, there's 2 for rent. What? I got approved? Okay. So the weekend
that did happen fast. I remember all of a sudden it was like, hey, new job. Hey, I'm moving. It's like, what?
So I was a vendor Saturday. I got the house Sunday. Monday, Beyond the Fray offered me a publishing contract.
That's incredible.
I was like, okay, because they had a thing on Facebook. It says, we Beyond the Fray is a publishing company that mainly caters to paranormal and true crime.
Okay.
The woo-woo, because we get laughed at. People are like, no. Unless it's Helter Skelter, we're not going to publish it or whatever. Right. So I'm very thankful for a company like that. And they had an ad on Facebook. It said, we're taking in new submissions, but we're mainly looking for nonfiction. And I'm like, I just wrote a book. Maybe I could turn that in,
Yeah.
Yeah. All they're going to do is say, no, it's already been published. So I sent them the book about staying at the Jefferson Hotel. Okay, you got the Ace of Wands, creativity. So you got something new coming. And
it's a new dog. No, I'm just kidding.
Or more money.
Or money. I'll take more money.
You get promoted and I get your job.
My job? What's my job?
Working for Andrea.
Oh, well, that's more fun for me. Yes.
Okay. Well, I need fun. It's just me.
You can play with us anytime you want.
Okay. Yeah, so I submitted my book on my manuscript on, staying at the hotel by myself. And, I made contact with the bride. I stayed in the bride's room because the guy took me up to my room and he goes, so you know about this room, right? I'm like, no. And he goes, you don't know anything about this room? I'm like, well, I saw the picture of the bed and I'm a Southern girl and it's got pillows, so yeah. I want the pretty bed.
Right. With all of the pillows and all of the blankets, please. Thank you very much.
That's what it was. And it was reasonably priced.
Even better.
He goes, well, this is the haunted bride room. This is the most haunted room in the entire hotel. I'm like, get out. Is it really?
Of course it is.
It's the one with the pretty bed. So, so I was trying to catch up on emails. Wait, there's 2 stories here now. And I was sitting on her bed. She hung herself from the top of the bed because it's one of these huge oak headboards. It's probably 12 feet tall, and she was jilted. Oh. And so I was catching up on my emails. La 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 la. I'm the only one in the hotel. La 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 la. And I hear somebody walking around. So like my phone texts the guy that owns the hotel. Hey, anybody upstairs? Like, nope, we're all downstairs. I'm like, okie dokie. Very much. La 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 la. Let's play on Facebook a little bit more. And I'm upstairs all alone, way down at the end of the hall, upstairs. Can't get to me. If I was being murdered, no one would have heard me scream because, can't hear anything. And I'm sitting there and I hear, I'm like, okay, who's knocking on my table? And so I look over. I'm like, hey there. Okay, nothing. Hey, heard some knocking on the table next to me. That happens, right? And he goes, nope. Like, okie dokie. So I didn't freak out, and it seemed like the energy kept amping up every time. Like it was like a textbook 101, how to scare the blonde girl. Okay, first we're going to make the doll giggle.
You're right.
Well, that didn't scare me. We're going to stick her in an armoire. She can't move. She's going to have to go up like, Well, that didn't scare me. Well, okay, that scared me a little because I thought I was going to get stuck.
Yeah, I'm crazy claustrophobic myself, so I can relate.
There's a video I'll have to send you. So, I'm like, oh my God, and then something literally like 4 feet away from me was knocking on the little built-in dresser in the room. I'm like, oh. Okay. Nothing scared me. That was one story. I forgot the other one now.
Squirrel.
This is a symbol for squirrel.
Squirrel. Or something shiny,
Ooh, shiny. Yeah.
Do you think that
sometimes
I try not to if I don't have to, but I wonder too, like you're at a location, and do you think that regardless of our abilities, because I do believe we all have some semblance of all the different options. Some are just like from a menu, right?
Yeah.
You choose your strongest one, but you resonate, like one tends to come through first more than the others. Mm-hmm. Do you think that spirits can give? Have you seen the show Ghosts, the TV show? Okay.
Oh, I saw the first 2 episodes. Yeah.
Okay. So, each spirit has a different ability, right?
Oh, spoiler. No.
Well, but I guess what I'm trying to, do you feel like that they pick how we get the information downloaded, or do you think that it's however they're able to best give us the information? And do you think they try different ways if something's not coming through? Like you're saying, let's say hypothetically the spirit that you were dealing with at the hotel was the same spirit, just different spots, just hypothetical. And you're getting all this information, but maybe you're not getting the reaction that they want. I don't know if they want you to be scared, they want you to be excited, do cartwheels, whatever. Do you think they're trying, is there the potential for them to try different ways to contact? Or do you think that they typically have one way of doing it?
I'm sure they have.
What if? I'm digging way down to the bottom of the what if barrel. And it's another thing that I like asking because I do, like you'll be in a room with 3 other mediums and you get your information. All of us may get it different, same spirit, but different way of getting the information. Am I making sense or am I?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's an individual thing. Yeah, because I clearly saw the man. He was like way at the other end of the hall. I heard the dolls. I didn't react to those. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there's a man standing behind me, and he was at the end of the staircase looking over like, who's that down there? Is she supposed to be here? I don't know. I don't know if they're looking for reactions. I think at the Jefferson Hotel, they're looking for reactions because so many people go there for jump scares. But like I was walking around here with a guy one day, and, it's what you do. You go to the cemetery, and Clearly. And so there was one with a little iron fence built around it. And I went in there to see who was there. It was very old headstones. And he was waiting for me. And I was like, is there a little girl buried over here in the corner? And he's like, I don't know. There's no headstone or anything. I'm like, well, there's a little girl right here. She's right here,
Like literally right here.
Yeah, there's a little girl standing next to me. Turns out she was one of the more famous ghosts that hangs out around here, but I didn't know about her. So I think maybe it's like throwing a spaghetti noodle against the wall, see what sticks. Yeah.
It is, because we were at John's office's museum when I was up there in Connecticut in June, and I was with Julie Griffin, and I tend to get words like downloads. I don't know about you, but I will get things repeated, like the same word or a couple of words 6 or 7 times. And then I know that that's something I need to actually pay attention to.
Yeah.
And so I kept getting in my head, Viking, Viking, Viking over and over and over and over again. And I hadn't even spit the words out yet. And Julie's like 8 feet from me. Johnny's in between us. And she's like now she's looking up, and she's like, big guy, burly. I haven't said the word. I've said nothing because it just came in my brain. And she's getting the visual of him, like deer skins, very big, warrior, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what are you getting? What is she getting? What are you getting? And I'm like, I kept getting Viking. So 2 sensitives, and same information, same spirit, 2 different ways.
Maybe you have one that's stronger than the other. I mean, I hear things. That's probably my number one thing.
That's yours, is the clairaudience?
Yeah. And then I smell things. So that's pretty strong. But I have noticed, I was telling a friend of mine that I'm trying to teach myself to channel. Mm-hmm. And I kind of look like Ray Charles when I start channeling. I just start rocking back and forth, and I repeat things in 3s. I'm like, little boys here, little boys here, little boys here. And so I'm like, okay, that's hit me on the nose, Okay,
the repetitiveness of it.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's a little boy by the tree, there's a boy by the tree, boy by the tree, and like, okay. I'm still learning how to do all that.
Me too.
It's interesting.
And it's hard to delineate sometimes. Like it's, I'll get stuff. I was working at an office, and this was not that long ago. I had a very, very short stint in condominium rentals, and I was like, no. But this woman that was working there, she had lost her dad, and her mother was dying of cancer. And I went and sat down at the desk because the phone was ringing, and she had told me, and I kept getting the word peanut butter cup over and I'm like, are you really who's this for? Because I just kept getting those words, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go back to her and just start there. And I just walked up to her, and I'm like, this is gonna sound super weird, but does peanut butter mean anything to you? And then instantly the tears, and we get this whole story. So I've learned, because I'm still learning so much, and that's why I love talking to people like you, because you have so much experience. Well, but you have so much knowledge and very gifted sensitive. Clearly, you've got a lot of investigative experience, but it kind of lends credence for me as someone who's still kind of learning. That was the day I started finding repetitiveness meant something. Like if I'm hearing things, the same thing over and over again, like I need to really pay attention.
Yeah, I was driving through Texas one time, and I passed one of the Renaissance festivals that we go to, and I don't want to say I was exceeding the maximum legal posted speed limit, but that might have been happening.
It's the only way I drive is faster than the speed limit.
Because Texas is big. You gotta go fast.
I'm from Atlanta. You got to be efficient, so I understand.
So I got this message. It said, "Tell Dot Tom said hi." I'm like, well, who the hell is Dot?
Right.
Okay. Dorothy is part of our group, and so I'm driving really fast and I'm texting. I was like, do you know somebody named Tom? And she's like, I don't like him. He just died. And I'm like, well, okay. I just got a message. He said hi. Tell him, I'm like, I'm driving. I'm going 85 right now. That was 20 minutes ago. I'm way past, where he is.
Right.
Sorry.
Like, I'm fine playing telephone tag, but preferably not when I'm driving.
And I was going through a construction and I'm texting, probably late too. I don't know.
It's such a weird world that we live in sometimes with this stuff, because you get things at the weirdest times, and trying to decipher it, figure out who it belongs to is its own kind of thing, because you get this weird information like peanut butter and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I getting that? Trying to assign it, figure out where it goes. And I think that's for me where I'm still trying to learn. And that's why I love talking to people who have more experience, because you can learn so much.
Yeah. I just wish there was a book, Andrea.
Well, have you read her UFO book yet? That I don't think she hasn't released it to the public yet.
Well, no.
Wonder to Behold. I have that one.
She sent it to me, but with color inserts.
You got the color inserts?
No. Yes. Yeah.
Good. I snagged one at her house. I saw it on the counter and I'm like, can I have it? And
okay. I hadn't read that one yet, but
oh, you haven't read it? Oh, girl. You're gonna love the hell out of that one. Okay.
Yeah, she inscribed it. Something about enjoy the journey you're about to go on. I'm like, okay, where am I going?
Well, I think I feel like, as you've discussed, divine timing. So you've always had these experiences since you were very young with these intelligent beings, and maybe now's your time to start really forming a relationship with them, especially now that you're a hybrid.
Yeah. Well, before, my dad walked out when we were 8. My mom was an alcoholic, so had to take care of her, literally pick her up out of the floor. And my husband was an alcoholic, so I had to take care of him, and then had a daughter. So I've been taking care of people since I was 8. I've not had me time.
Right.
Until
now's
July.
your time.
Yeah.
Divine timing.
Yeah. As soon as I find, I found all my clothes finally,
Yay!
Oh my God, that was
that's a battle.
So I work from home, right? And I couldn't find. I had like 5 outfits, and I was washing them, and most of the time I'm here by myself, but sometimes we have to do Zoom meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was dressed out. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to go in garb. So I'm, in my corsets and my chemise, and and I'm here by myself. I'm having a computer problem. They're like, okay, the head of IT needs to talk to you. We're going to do a team meeting. I'm like, oh shit.
Find me a shirt.
Bar. Let me take off the Viking hat. I need to go find some clothes.
Cover up the boobs, like.
It's like, no, I don't wear pajamas to work.
I do. I worked in law, and I got as casual as I possibly could get away with there. But now I picked up this little retail gig just to get out of the house, because I work from home too. And it's all like that cotton gauzy stuff. So it's like I roll out of bed, get out of my actual pajamas, and then I put on my work pajamas.
I want to try that.
It's great. I love it. I have 2 rules for clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to iron it? And do I have to suck in? If the answer to those is both no, then whatever that article of clothing is coming home with me.
I'm wearing.
Bill's probably going to time check me shortly.
Oh, okay.
No, because it's already 10:45.
Oh, geez.
Where'd that go? So that means
my 40 minutes did.
Right, your time slip, your lost time. So tell me what you got coming up. Where can we find you? Where are the best ways to, get in touch with all things Victoria?
I got nothing going on. No, that's not true.
I know that's not true.
Well, I'm supposed to be working on a book. I found out the other day it was supposed to be released in November. I'm like, well, no, because the event.
Finish writing it first.
I know. Well, in Jefferson, back to Jefferson, they have this event called History, Haunts, and Legends, because it's good old deep East Texas. You can't say ghost. You can't say paranormal. So it's history, haunts, and legends.
Yes.
It's paranormal. Let's just say it. So I'm going to be a vendor there, so I'll bring my books there.
When's that?
That's the first weekend in November, History, Haunts, and Legends. So there's a meet and greet. They have several speakers coming in. And then the cool thing is they have the vendors and the speakers on Saturday. Saturday night, they open up several of the houses for investigations. Oh yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
And it gets even better. I'm gonna get a golf cart.
No trekking up hills and melting.
So I was telling James and Nito that, and he's like, "Oh my God, I want to go, but I'll be in Romania." He goes, "So yeah, they have another one. They have another one in April." And he goes, "I'm going to drive your golf cart." Okay, and I'm like, "Okay, we're doing this." But you can't say demonologist or demon or anything, so tweak that. I'm going to present it to her again and say, "Hey, a friend of mine, a deacon in a church who is also a paranormal investigator, wants to be a speaker." So Mary Marshall, the psychic MD, I think is what the.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her title? Is that her?
I think so.
Psychic MD,
but I can't confirm for sure.
She's a psychic. She's my dear friend. She's my soul sister. We're gonna be up to some shenanigans soon.
Shenanigans are good always.
You're more than welcome to come.
I know.
What else we got going on? Oh yeah, I'm going to Ballinger next weekend with Chad Lindbergh.
Okay.
They're doing another. I just love the Old Park Hotel.
I've heard amazing stories about Old Park. I've got several friends that have investigated and got some pretty wild stuff at Old Park.
I went there last year and Dan Class was there. I mean, we tried planning this event for 2 years and it kept getting pushed. He and Brandy Green were doing it, and I was just going to show up and just be an investigator. And so I was standing downstairs and I was talking to the owners, Connie and Dan Class comes up and he goes, "You want to go find a room now?" I was like, "I am not that kind of girl." And he's like, "What?" And he goes, "Beat red." I was like, oh, for me to stay in. Yes, let's go find. Like, I know it's a brothel, Dan, but
we haven't even had a first date yet. Come on. We have discussed terms of payment. Nothing.
Buy me dinner first. Okay.
Right.
So next door to the Mexican restaurant. And then the Skywatch party is the next week in Mineral Wells, which is another wonderful, wonderful haunted town. It's Kelly. So,
I saw him come in from the door.
Oh, he's doing this on the chair.
Meeting.
I don't know why they do that. I mean, he doesn't have claws. Anyway, yeah, we're doing that. Okay. And then the Texas Renaissance Festival is going on. So I need to get my carcass down there and be an ambassador.
Do the wave, do the princess wave. Now, where's that at?
That is in Todd Mission, Texas, which is middle of nowhere. It's kind of by Magnolia, northeast of Houston. It is the largest Renaissance festival in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend. You might have seen her on some of the broadcasts, but Melissa Blackman, she's super into the Ren fairs too. She lives in Kansas City, I think.
Oh, I have friends
super into that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love the clothes. They just feel so good on the back, you know.
We don't have Renaissance here, but we do have pirates. So we obviously have, it's not uncommon to find a pirate skateboarding down the bayfront in St. Augustine. So there's always people decked out in full pirate regalia. So the corsets and the whole thing. And, it's a town where you'll see a guy with a saber or a musket walking up and down the street, and some people panic. We're like, no, it's St. Augustine. This is just Tuesday.
I'm in 2 pirate clans, so yeah. I
See? You got to come to St. Augustine.
Pirates are fun. I mean, I don't do the thievery, but it's a lifestyle. Like you don't care what other people think about you, and
right.
We have a phrase, and it's just because pirate.
I support that.
Yeah. So I have all my books coming out then.
Good.
And I have another one I want to do. Mike Ricksecker used to give me crap all the time because I am a firm believer in the hollow earth, not like an avocado pit, or anything. And now they're finding out that the earth may really be hollow on the inside, not a big ball of goo.
Right.
I think there's like pockets and the ant aliens that came down and, there's so many civilizations that we're not connected that all have the same mythology. And so I guess it would be book 7 would be the hollowed earth. So, if you think about it, the elongated skulls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If you look at an ant, what does an ant's head look like? It's an elongated skull.
Elongated skull.
So, and when I was doing the channeling and the regression, I was getting a lot of information. So I found out how to connect Pompeii, Easter Island, and the desert Southwest. So I need to look into that. There's not a really good research library here in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
If you'll send me the links for like where people can get the books and stuff, I can put that in the Buttercup Brigade, so that way people have access to that. And I think we have like, I don't know, a minute or two left.
Okay. Oh, and I'm writing a serial. This is my first fiction paranormal romance serial, and it's called Romancing the Tombstone.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so give me where people, like, I want all that. So give me that so I can put those links in for, because I'm still learning how to navigate this whole podcasting world. And I always tend to forget something, like links for people. I did that last week too. I'm learning. I'm getting there. And I loved having you on. It's so nice to meet you finally face to face. And we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, just call me anytime. We can video chat.
We do need to do that.
Yeah. Let's turn it into a drinking game.
I'll drink coffee.
Yes. Diet Coke.
Or Diet Coke. The caffeine. Me and alcohol broke up like 7 years ago. We decided we couldn't be friends anymore.
Good for you. So, I'll do Diet Coke. Yeah.
No, you can drink. Just drink an extra one for me.
If I drink, my face would be red. It would be Willy Wonka all over again.
I'm Irish too, girl. I get red. It doesn't take much.
German and Irish. It's like the double whammy. And I'm Southern, so I don't sweat.
Irish and Southern. We spit. No, we sparkle in the South, right?
Mm-hmm. I glisten.
Not in Florida. We just straight up sweat all the time. But thank you for coming on and hanging out with me.
Thank you so much.
I loved being able to laugh and cut loose and just talk all kinds of stuff with you. I feel my energy feels better just having your energy and mine. And thank you to everybody for joining us. And Andrea should be back next week, unless I'm hosting again. I haven't heard, but she should be back next week. And we hope everybody has an amazing weekend. And we'll see you next time. Victoria, stay on.